And we have a look tonight at the flooding people are now dealing with in Morgan County.
What you're looking at here from above, cars stuck in the middle of the road. The road is washed out. This is on the south side of Indianapolis in Mooresville. And that happens to be one of the more recent places that we're now starting to see flooding. This is flooding that started across the state last week. It was east, it went north, and now it's to the south.
Days and days of rain. And now the first Hoosiers hit hard by all this rain. They're checking out the destruction, returning back home to their property. So take a look at this video out of Anderson, and you can see the damage the floodwaters caused in this home's basement.
And the water still hasn't receded there. The man who owns the home says he thinks he saw 61,000 gallons of water in just his basement. What a mess. And that is the story all across the viewing area tonight. So we do have live team coverage for you tonight, from the forecast to the state's efforts to help get Hoosiers some relief.
Yeah, you see our crews out there. They're also in Morgan County as well as Indy, and that's where we find Ashton Hackman tonight. He's back in Ravenswood. This is on the city's north side, where people are returning home after the floodwaters forced them out. Ashton, can you share what you've learned, what you've seen today?
Yeah, and this is what they are left with. Take a look, not only dealing with high water, the leftover damage from that, but even uprooted trees, ones that toppled over based on all that saturated water. This is the home of Melanie Dean. She's lived here since the 80s, and this is now her new reality. To see the aftermath, Melanie Dean has to wade through water just to get home.
When I saw the devastation, it's like my soul had died.
And getting back home doesn't mean getting back to normal. Saturated ground left behind toppled trees. Water is still everywhere. And now her family is trying to figure out what can be saved.
Oh boy. At least we can salvage a large portion of it, but it's a lot.
Melanie's lived here since 1985. For more than 40 years, her family knew exactly where to find her house. Until now.
Coming down the road, I was like, where's Mom's house?
Her family has seen plenty of flooding in Ravenswood, but never like this.
It's just hard to believe. It's flooded before, but it's never come in the house. It's come 1 inch from. So this is very devastating.
And all around her, neighbors are doing the same things, figuring out what's left to save and where to start.
Everybody is going through this around here. This isn't one person.
But at 78 years old, Melanie isn't planning to leave.
I can't tell you how long. It's not going to be a week. It's not going to be 2 weeks. It's not going to, maybe a month. And I've had some people say it'll be 6 months. I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, I'm not going anywhere. This is my home.
Home, a place that's deep in the heart, no matter how deep the floodwaters reached. And as you can see, home has a lot to repair. Luckily, Melanie has a great support system with her here today. We checked in on her after we saw her out in the floodwaters on Saturday. Unfortunately, this is a new normal for a lot of people here in Ravenswood, but thankfully the city is now making dumpsters available here in this neighborhood where people can throw out anything that they need to get rid of from those floods. Ladies.
All right, Ashton, thanks so much. And we do have some tips for that coming up a little bit later on the newscast about maybe why you want to take pictures of what you're throwing away for your insurance claim. So a good way that they have an avenue to do it, maybe an extra step in between. We'll get into that. In the meantime, if you live or you know someone who does live on the north side of Indy, there are some ways that you can be getting help right now.
Gleaners is distributing food, hygiene products, and other items to help people in need. It's taking place at the north side event and Social Club.
That's located at the 2100 East 71st Street in Indianapolis. It's going to be open for about another hour from now until 6 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, some of those essential items people need immediately. It's been nearly a week since rain first started falling in parts of central and eastern Indiana.
However, some areas are now just starting to see flooding, especially when we think to the south, Morgan County. That's where flooding forced more people out of their homes over the weekend.
And it's where we find Jenny Runovich live between Waverly and Mooresville tonight. We see a lot of water behind you. Still, Jenny.
Yeah, a lot of water. And here's the thing, over those past few days, it did not really rain here in Morgan County, but it rained heavily up north. It went down the White River, and then this spot got flooded last night. Take a look behind me. You can see that car. It is submerged on what was Smoky Row Road. This road collapsed and flooded when a quarry levee nearby failed last night. Also, this morning, a delivery driver ended up needing to be rescued in this same area. Went around the barricades, firefighters say, got stuck, and had to get on top of his car to be pulled out by boat. We are also seeing wide swaths of floodwaters covering roads in Morgan County and homes and agriculture land and a golf course that's now looking more like a lake. 10 people in Morgan County had to be evacuated from their homes, and others are now just trying to stay dry. Brenda Acker was up all night when flooding took aim at her family's basement.
Coming underneath 144 through the hayfield to our house. We have 5 inches of water in the basement.
And you have 5 sump pumps working?
Five sump pumps and then a farm pump.
Yeah, they have an entire system going, and they say slowly but surely that water is receding, so that's some good news. Also good news, some of this water has been receding. Actually, that car has kind of moved since we saw it last night, so that is some good news. Slowly it's going away, but here's the thing, and kind of the reminder from emergency managers in the area, there are still roads in Morgan County that are not passable, that have floodwaters in them. And it's not just a matter of turn around, don't drown, you might get stuck in the water. There is concern that the road itself could be in danger structurally, kind of like this one was. So when you drive into that water, you don't know if the road itself is safe, and that, of course, could be really dangerous. So just another word of warning as you drive around. If there are barricades, don't go around them. Back to you.
We've seen that's had deadly consequences here in the last couple days in Indiana. Jenny, thank you.
Well, flooding is forcing a lot of people to find other ways to get around much of the area.
So take a look. We went back to the area up on the north side. This is just north of Keystone at the Crossing. This is that River Road area right there by Crystal Lake where Brant Road comes into Indianapolis today. Not far from the Fashion Mall. As you can see in this video, the water has receded significantly. It was enough, however, to cause that road there to collapse.
And in Carmel, part of Hazeldale Parkway is closed just south of 106th. We have video from Drone Cam 13, and it shows where the bridge collapsed over the weekend. During a news conference about an hour and a half ago, the city announcing the bridge will need a total replacement. However, it's difficult to determine the time it's going to take to get this done because one part is taken care of by the county, the other is taken care of by the city. So they're trying to find a way to accelerate the bridge replacement.
That is a mess there for sure. Also right now, the federal government is stepping in to help the state of Indiana respond to the flooding that we've had over the recent days.
13 News State House reporter Emily Longnecker is following the state's response. She heard from Governor Braun and the State Department of Homeland Security in just the last 2 hours.
So Emily joining us live right now. Give us a rundown of what state leaders are now telling you about the situation and this need for funding and help.
Yeah, well, you know, the administration is likening this whole recovery process to a marathon now that the sprint, the response part of all of this is mostly over. And the first leg of this marathon will really be trying to get FEMA to declare this a major disaster. And the governor saying today that could take time, that will take time. He said 7 to 10 days, but the governor said the state would be compiling information over the next 48 hours on the damage to give to FEMA, who will make that determination. Now, if the federal government says that this was a major disaster, that will unlock federal money to help people with recovery costs. In the meantime, the state is opening up its disaster relief fund to give people help right now, $5,000.
We know that's going to provide immediate assistance for homeowners that have those immediate needs. So get back into your home, repair your roof, get a new refrigerator, those things that can get you back to life as quickly as possible.
So how to apply for that? Well, the advice is to first call 211. Folks are encouraged to document the damage that they have to their homes with photos, video, receipts. This is all information that the state wants to know about so that they can track the damage. Governor Braun saying the resources are there right now to help Hoosiers with these immediate needs caused by the damage. He also said it's going to take time to flesh out an exact number on the amount of federal dollars that could be needed to recover from this. So we heard that the president this weekend gave an emergency declaration here to Indiana. So what did that get the state? Well, it got the state immediate direct help to deal with the emergency response. For example, we learned today that the Army Corps of Engineers, the federal government, is in Carmel right now to assess the damage there that possibly could have been done from water flowing through the mines there in Carmel. And the governor saying today, if there are other local emergency management agencies at the county level, at the local level, that have ID'd a situation that they want help assessing, that the possibility is there of getting FEMA help out there to help assess. So that is what that emergency declaration has already gotten Indiana. Now they wait to see if they can get a major disaster declaration for Indiana. Ann, Felicia?
All right, any sense on the timing on that, Emily?
So, over the next 24 to 48 hours, they're going to be assessing the damage. FEMA is here on the ground helping the state assess that damage. Governor Braun estimating today it could take 7 to 10 days for FEMA to decide, what they think if this is a major disaster. He said the threshold is, pretty high, so we'll see. If they would not give it a major disaster declaration, he said then, there will be a discussion about what state resources are there to help Hoosiers out in the recovery. Ann, Felicia?
Okay. Emily Longnecker reporting. Thank you so much. You really get an idea of how intricate the recovery efforts can be. I mean, if they're talking about mining and how that could play a role into everything.
Right, and talking about a sprint versus a marathon. Okay, so we're in the marathon stage, but that was a really long sprint because it started last Wednesday.
Yeah, this has been an incredible last really 7 days or so of this weather pattern that we've been in. Heavy rain and then the severe weather event that's gone along with that. Finally, a break from the rain is in our forecast. Doesn't mean we're completely out of the clear or in the clear here, because we do still have some rivers that are rising in some locations. Just wanted to give you a broad brush update here. The White River still rising in Spencer, expected to crest on Wednesday about 5 feet above where it is right now, and then still cresting along the Wabash River and expected to crest much more slowly. It may take it till Sunday before we see that crest in Terre Haute. Again, we're looking at the crest already happening here at Centerton, but then farther down the line here at Spencer, expecting to not crest until sometime maybe late Tuesday or even into Wednesday. As I said, the forecast looks pretty good because finally we're getting these showers out of here. Are expecting a little bit of patchy fog to develop during the overnight, especially with clear skies and all of the moisture that's left over at the surface. So 63 for our overnight low. Areas of fog. The city will probably be into the 60s, but many outlying locations could be into the 50s. And for tomorrow, we are not expecting rain in the forecast. The rain chance isn't zero. It's at about 5 or 10% or so, but low 80s, lots of sunshine. It's nice to see a break. How long does it last? The forecast is coming up.